day.
Can you guys all say Team Day on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Happy Friday the 13th. Today is a lucky day. The superintendent is stopping the spread. School is closed. A few parents were complaining, but I want to see what these guys think. You guys are from Oakton High School?
Yes, ma'am.
We are from Oakton.
What's your name?
Jake Houston.
I'm Aiden Kane.
Thanks for talking to us today. Of course. So do you guys think Friday the 13th is a lucky day or a bad luck day?
I mean, right now it seems like a lucky day. I'm just happy to be home safe.
I agree. I mean, I'm glad that we're in good health. It's always a good thing, but we'll see.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about the coronavirus? What have you heard? How is it affecting you? But let's start out with a simple question. What is the coronavirus?
I just keep hearing it's like a bad case of the flu, and that it's something that we're not really like. It's like a new thing, so that's kind of scary. We don't really know how to treat it yet.
Yeah, I think it's just pretty much a little bit worse than the flu, but the scary thing is we don't really know how bad it is. So it's only going to take time to really understand how bad it is. So that's why I think the time off is good to just kind of figure it out.
So how is it affecting your sports?
So I'm a junior at Oakton. This is my third season playing baseball for Oakton. I'm a 3-sport athlete, but this baseball season being cut short really takes a toll on like team morale, and I just feel real bad for my seniors. They've worked real hard all off season, all 4 years, just to get to this point. We were looking real good this season, and they got the season taken away from them. So I just feel real bad about it, and it's just taken away a lot of our motivation to get out there and play.
So we might only be out of school for maybe like a month.
Well, the bad part about it is that we got a lot of time that like we practice every single day. Okay, so when school gets canceled, we lose all of our practice time. All the facilities are cut off from us. So it's just real frustrating. And also we have to play our out of conference games before we play our conference games. So it doesn't really give us the time to get going against teams, see a lot of live at bats and stuff like that. So, once we get into competitive play, we might not be in mid-season form like we were going to be at that point.
Well, the good thing is everybody's off, so hopefully they're not either.
No, I agree. But everyone's still finding ways to get work in by themselves, going out to, public fields, stuff like that, just to keep going, stay in shape.
So are they doing it together or on their own?
No, together. Yes, ma'am. This morning the whole Oakton baseball team came out. We had a practice by ourselves. The captains run it, my seniors. They all ran a fantastic practice today, put together a whole plan. We're still just trying to work hard and compete once the season kicks back up again.
So what about, I'm getting to you, don't worry, I didn't forget about you. What about as far as 6 feet apart or 6 feet under? Are you guys washing your hands and staying pretty apart? Baseball's like pretty apart,
Yeah, definitely. That was just one thing that we were like kind of confused about initially when the superintendent said we shouldn't, or we should cancel after school activities and stuff, but still send them to school. Like, I don't understand how it's more safe to be inside of a building with 2,000 plus students rather than be outside on a field with maybe 25 guys just in total. Like, it just doesn't make too much sense to me.
So what are you thinking about this whole sport thing? Do you play a sport?
Yeah, I wrestle in the winter, and our team heavily depends on off-season workouts. So kind of when our program used to not be very competitive, but we got a new coach, and off-season workouts became a big thing. We came from being kind of not very competitive to almost winning regions this year. We came in second. Most of that was due to going to the off-season workouts. So now that those are cut short, that kind of digs into our team improvement and kind of just hurts everyone.
Can you guys work out at home?
We can still work out at home, but that just is dependent on if we actually have equipment at our house. I mean, you could always go for a run, but not everyone has access to a gym or their own weights. So it was kind of just good to get out to the school and work with our coach and stuff. So that's where this coronavirus just kind of cuts into that.
So, are you guys going to gyms? Can you go to the gym?
Yeah. I'm not real worried about it. I'm a clean guy. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm still going to the gym, but I'm washing my hands real well, wiping down bars and seats before I use them and stuff like that. But I still do what I can to get in and lift some weights.
What about you? Will you try and find a gym?
Well, I'm lucky enough to have some workout equipment in my basement, so I can always use that. And
Would you prefer to do that instead of going to a gym?
well, not really. I mean, the gym always has more stuff than I can fit in my basement, but
Do you feel safer though, is what I'm saying, due to coronavirus?
yeah, probably. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But you're not afraid.
Not particularly. No, I mean, yeah. No, not.
So the kids are gonna still get together and go to, like, you guys are outside Chipotle now. You guys are still gonna go out to eat. You're not afraid of spreading it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we should probably take some more precaution just because we don't know like how it can affect us yet. And yeah.
Did you wash your hands before you ate your Chipotle?
I did. I washed my hands thoroughly, and I have some hand sanitizer in my truck over there.
Okay.
So you just gotta keep clean. All good. Yeah.
Are you going to work too?
So I work around my neighborhood. I just like mow lawns, paint houses, build stuff, fix stuff. And if people need me over there, then yeah. I mean, I know all these people. They're if I have a reason not to go over, then I won't. But
For the most part, you're outside.
for the most part, I'm outside. I'm working. I'm keeping myself busy when I'm not practicing.
So what about you?
I did not wash my hands before I ate Chipotle. Really hope it does not come back to bite me, but
Well, but you just got up here, right? So were your hands clean before you got up?
yeah, I mean, probably. I'd assume so. I usually shower twice a day, make sure to stay clean. But
Did you touch the fountain?
Which fountain over there?
Yeah.
The soda fountain? Yes, I did. So,
That's okay. So you're gonna wash your hands next time.
of course, I was just on my way over to wash my hands. Anyway.
So what about you? Are you gonna have social gatherings? Go out with friends?
I mean, yeah, we're coming from playing some pickup basketball with our friends, so it's not really affecting us too bad because even if we get the flu or even like a bad case of the flu, I think we'll be fine. But the problem is like bringing it back home to like elderly family members that are more at risk. So, yeah.
So you don't actually think any teenager is gonna stay home?
I'm not saying that. There's definitely some people that are a lot more frightened than we are, and rightfully so. Like, we're not gonna judge them for it because, it's our risk. Going out, like having fun, just acting like everything's normal.
Is it harder for the athletes to stay home?
Yeah, I'd say so because naturally if you're like playing a sport, you're doing it to like keep yourself busy. You really love the sport and stuff like that. So with all that free time, you're gonna go out and do something related to like what you enjoy.
What do you think?
I mean, I'd assume so. I'm not really like the off-season workouts were big for the program, so it definitely affects us. Yeah.
Do you guys play a lot of video games?
No, I'm not a video game kind of guy. I can't sit in the same position for more than like 30 minutes before I gotta get going.
Do you think a lot of kids might be playing more video games?
Yeah, I'd say there's a good amount of kids just sitting inside, staying safe.
I think, are those kids more used to staying inside playing video games than athletes?
That's not for me to say. I mean, there's certain kids that will and certain kids that won't.
What do you think? More kids playing video games?
Well, I mean, a lot of kids do like playing video games in their free time. So now that we have school off and we have online classes, we do have a lot more time to do what we want. So, yeah, I think video games will probably be done a lot.
Do you play them?
Yeah, I do.
What do you play?
Let's see. What do I play? I'm playing a like zombie game called Dying Light right now. Like to play Call of Duty, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So how long do you think school's going to be closed for?
I think it was announced today. We got like 28 days off.
Yeah, I think the date is April 10th, and that's, I think, exactly like 4 weeks away, so it's a lot of time.
So what do you guys think you're going to do for a month?
I really don't know. That means, no organized sports for a month, no.
That's really affecting you.
Yeah, no, it kept me busy. School kept me busy. It just kept me like, gave me a schedule. I work a lot better and just more efficiently once I like,
Have routine?
Have a routine.
Have structure.
Yeah. So it's gonna affect me pretty heavily, but for the first maybe week and a half, I should be fine. Keep myself busy, but then I'm gonna get bored of doing the same things to be entertained.
So is this different than summertime?
See, like that, we've been comparing it to that a lot, but it's like
We still have online classes, Like, we still have online classes. We have no idea how that's going to go, but as far as we're told, we still have them. So that should take up some time, I'd assume.
yeah.
So do you think it's like summer?
Well, I mean, in summer, you really have, no structure. The only structure is, actually doing what you want. So I think now that we have online classes, it should keep kids pretty motivated still, but it'll be interesting to see, I think.
Yeah. So what about grandparents? Are you worried about your grandparents?
Yeah, actually. So I live at home with my grandmother. Hi, Grandma Marge, if you're watching. Yeah. So she's like 82 years old. She's still moving around. She's still very active. But they're obviously very susceptible to the virus and stuff. So my mom is making sure she's not leaving the house unless she absolutely needs to. Stuff like that, and she's just kind of staying clean, staying safe. She's making sure I'm, washing my hands if we're sharing, food or something, stuff like that. So yeah, we're all trying to stay healthy, but it's always a possibility, which is pretty scary to think about.
Are you worried about your grandparents?
I'm not sure if I'm worried about them. I just know all we really know what to do or what we can do is just stay clean, wash our hands, and usually my family's pretty good about that. So. I'm hoping that they'll be all right. Yeah.
Are your parents still going to work?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So our spring break is coming up. My mom is planning on taking that week off, but other than that, she feels pretty secure at her office. There's not too many people around. Those people. Everyone keeps clean. Tries to.
Your parents working?
Yeah, my parents are still working. They are not too worried about themselves. It hasn't really affected them that much so far, but as more things change, our Virginia was just declared in a state of emergency, so I really have no idea so far. But
how did that make you feel?
It's scary that it's being taken so seriously. This kind of just confirms that it's not just a seasonal flu. It's really doing a lot of damage. But this thing is, we don't really know how bad it is, so the state of emergency just kind of shows how serious it's gotten.
So what do you think about this state of emergency?
I was talking to one of my buddies about this the other day. This is something we're gonna remember for a really, really long time. Our junior year of high school is one of the most important years of school for us. Just in life in general and in school, there a lot of the stuff that gets done this year impacts how we move on after high school. So to have an entire month just off because of an actual virus seems kind of like a movie. It seems cinematic, just being home because of an unknown sickness that we don't know about and that we don't want to get. It's kind of scary to think about, but it's also pretty cool.
That's what I said yesterday. I said to Dr. Libby, this is not Grey's Anatomy. And where's Meredith Grey to get the cure, So hopefully we know that the doctors are working as hard as they can to try and get the cure. Do you have faith in our medical system here in the U.S.?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So what advice do you want to give teens out there?
Stay active. My physics teacher said if you continue to exercise and have a healthy immune system that you should be okay. So keep moving around. Don't just sit in your house. Don't go out if your shirt's wet or something like that. That's how you catch colds. Just stay clean, stay safe, stay active.
Yeah, for sure. Stay clean. If you do get sick and you don't know what it is, definitely tell your parents. Go get it checked out. Because the best thing we can do is just try our best not to spread it if we get sick. So yeah.
So teens say starting something called Stop the Spread. So if people are, that's what we want to call it, Stop the Spread. So if kids are sick, what are you telling them to do?
Stay home.
Don't meet you for baseball or basketball?
Exercising keeps you healthy, but if you become sick, it's not really going to help too much to just go out and run 3 miles or whatever. You're going to want to stay inside, rest up, make sure you're not getting other people sick. So yeah.
Definitely, 100%. Just like, even if like it's not that bad, like you could come out, just like make sure you're clean, make sure you're like taking medicine, all that good stuff.
And stay 6 feet away from you.
Yeah, arm's length, arm's length.
So, wash your hands after basketball and baseball.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what about hikes like Great Falls, Burke Lake, and stuff like that? Do you guys think you go out more to places like that? It's getting nice out. It's beautiful out.
Having a hike with my friend actually next week. Like, it's not super populated of an area. Hopefully, the people that are going to Great Falls aren't sick and trying to spread it to other people. So it's just a matter of everyone trying to stay safe, doing what they can, and yeah.
Can you do your online stuff outside? Like on your computers?
I mean, I have no idea what the online school is going to be like. I'd assume it's going to be like a group FaceTime or something like that. Need Wi-Fi?
Think so?
So, I mean, that would be kind of cool.
I feel like that'd be kind of tough. Like, what if?
I don't know.
Somewhat.
Some Skype, just a whole bunch of people hopping on. Teachers, yeah, I don't know.
I think Channel 25, where Teen Say also airs on Fairfax County Public Schools at times, we air a lot of shows with them as their guest. And I know she said that they're going to be airing a lot of educational stuff. So I'm not sure what that means, but we'll find out soon. But otherwise, you can find Teen Say on Channel 10 Public Access, Channel 25 Fairfax County Public Schools as their guest, teensay.net, and YouTube. Thanks for talking to us today.
Yep, you got it.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Mariann. Welcome to Teen Say. This is so exciting. We have Dr. Russell Libby with us. Yeah! I've tried to interview him after producing his show for 3 years. I finally got him. Unfortunately, we got him with a very bad disease. We need him to help us understand coronavirus a little.
So coronavirus, it has taken the nation by storm for sure. It is a very significant viral infection that we know started somewhere in China and not too long ago. It's one that can create serious disease, but probably more important is that it's one that our immune systems have never encountered. And unlike flu, where we have treatments and vaccines, this particular infection is very contagious, can be very serious in a very limited but significant group of people in our population, and is so easily spread and so rapidly spread that it's created an international issue, of course. The biggest thing, of course, is that, well, we don't know how to respond when we get this kind of novel infection out there, and the public has really panicked. The international news media has really taken advantage of the moment. We have a real news cycle that does repeatedly throw in our face things that are worrisome, that are concerning, and we keep hearing over and over again how terrible this is. It is a terrible thing. It is something that people need to be aware of and understand what implications there are. So I think the first thing to say is that for most teenagers who really are healthy kids, you don't have a lot to worry about relative to catching this infection. Doesn't mean that some don't get really sick, some do, but even with flu that can happen. With this particular infection, some may be more susceptible, those who have really chronic kinds of illness, bad asthma, cancers, and on chemotherapy and other kinds of treatments that might interrupt their normal immune response. But most people are going to do okay. The real issue is those older folks, in particular those over the age of 60, and especially those over the age of 80, and add to it certain kinds of chronic diseases, people with diabetes, lung disease, or cancers or other kinds of things. If they catch this disease, the mortality or death rate is pretty high. So the big fear is if we have a contagious disease that spreads through the population, that those people will be infected and they could die, or at least get really sick. It's a huge risk factor, and we don't really have a good way to contain it. So you're hearing a lot about it. You're hearing a lot of plans. It's interrupting a lot of things that are going on in this country right now. The NBA just announced that they're suspending their season. Chances are there will be lots of other sports leagues that do that. The NCAA is playing before a ghost audience. Yeah. It's tough stuff. And right now the schools don't know really where they're going with it. So this is a virus. A virus is not like strep throat. It's a different kind of thing. It's more like influenza. This is one that we've never seen before and that we really need to have some kind of awareness as to how to handle it. So you were going to ask more.
I was.
Yes.
I definitely was.
Okay.
So I'm going to borrow this. We're going to share. So the kids have lots of questions. Adults, parents have lots of questions. So the kid with, I guess, the average asthma, when they're using an inhaler during sports, are those kids more susceptible?
I would say that those kids are probably not more susceptible to severe disease. I would expect that we need to get more experience, what we have seen thus far, and it's only been a couple of months of observing this in countries where we don't get a lot of great and reliable information. So most of this is just secondhand reports, and we have not seen much disease in kids, especially in this country. So the likelihood is low that those with most of the kinds of things that kids will get, asthma, other acne, being on medicines for sinus infections or other kinds of infections. I don't think that our teenagers and the younger kids are at great risk, and we have not seen significant disease or outcomes that are worrisome in kids in other parts of the world. But once again, kids are the greatest vehicle. They like to socialize. They don't always pay attention. They don't pay attention to hygiene. So sometimes they'll touch surfaces, then touch their nose, touch their eyes, and boom, they'll get a little infection, but they may not get that sick, and they'll be the ones who can spread it to other people. And that's where the big risk with teens and kids are, much more about what they can do to the community than what the disease is going to do to them.
Stop the spread! So the moms are asking. They have little kids. So our audience is moms and dads and teens. And I got a few questions posed to me. They wanted to know about, the little kids. So I know you're saying in other countries we haven't seen a lot of little kids that are getting it and getting sick. But let's say people are not going to stay home. They're just not used to staying home. Let's say they go to the park. We saw kids yesterday in the park. I mean, the parks are full with kids. And if, in the areas where school is closed. So if school is closed and they're in the parks and they're outside, do we know anything about the germs outside? Or if we put masks on, can they go outside and socialize?
So the best way to interrupt disease is to not allow spread. So that's why we are restricting, or the public authorities are restricting large collections of people. So sporting events, concerts, even in restaurants, they're spacing out tables and chairs so that people aren't that close to each other. There is a concept that says 6 feet. Well, it could be 6 feet or 6 feet under, meaning that you stay 6 feet away, you're not likely to get a droplet if somebody sneezes or coughs that would then be capable of infecting you. That's great. If you're a lot closer, or you're sharing secretions, saliva, coughing, or whatever it might be, you do run the risk of getting the disease. Now, once again, it's been reportedly very, very mild in kids, but we may see that change, and we just have to keep our eyes open and be careful. The most effective way, once again, to stop this disease is to interrupt its transmission, and you can do that in two ways. One is, of course, to stay inside, or to stay in small, let's say, gatherings, and not get into the large crowds where you might be exposed to people you are not aware of who would have the disease. And the second is hygiene. And hygiene is a really important concept. Hand washing is by far the most effective way to get rid of viruses and other things that are on your hands. And interestingly, just running water with some soap and singing happy birthday to you twice will give you a very, very clean set of hands that are not likely to be carrying any virus. You asked about wearing a mask. Well, most of the time people think of masks as ways to prevent yourself from getting infection. And the only good thing that will do is to keep you from touching your nose and your mouth. It will not necessarily keep out the potential for infection if you get a good cough in your face. Your eyes and breathing through the mask actually does put you at risk. If you are sick, though, as well, it keeps you from using your nose and mouth as a source to contaminate surfaces, as well as keeping you from coughing into other people's space. So that is a really important quality. It does last a fairly long time on clothing, so yes, it's good to cough into your sleeve, but the fact is that it will stay there, and that becomes a source of potential contagion or virus for other people. So
How long can it stay on your clothes?
it's been measured at least 8 hours.
Wow.
So it probably is longer. So your washing in hot water is important if you have been coughing into your clothing. The other thing, of course, is on inanimate surfaces. It can last, some people speculate, up to a couple of days on certain types of surfaces. So
Clorox.
got to clean those surfaces if there is the potential, or you're in a public space, doctor's office. It's nice if they have plastic chairs and they can clean them with a disinfectant in between people coming in and out. Important ways to contain that. Yeah, no, we are being very careful about this. It's a very scary thing, because the other thing is that testing is not an easy thing to get. So we have not really figured that out locally. They're saying you can get tests, sure, but the way you get tested and the implications of testing create all kinds of real problems for physician offices. And currently, the health department and the hospital have not stepped up to help that process for the community. So we're hoping that we do see some movement that way, because we're at a fairly crucial time to be able to identify and understand how significant its impact is in the community and how many people really have this. So teenagers, you guys can prevent spread by minimizing those opportunities to be in large crowds. Make sure you know the people you're around and that they haven't traveled someplace.
If they're hanging out with the same group that they hang out with every day, their girlfriend, their best friends,
Yes.
and all of that, or their boyfriend, and and there's small groups. Can they still do that? Because odds are, if any of them have been contaminated, they're all contaminated anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. So it's always worth making sure you know who you're around. It's good family time right now. It's not an easy thing to do. Kids have been sent home from college. The most wonderful experience of your little young life, and here you can't even finish out your first year. That's sad, but it is the state of the affair right now, and we have to respect that. So
And take it very seriously.
oh yeah, we
It's
do.
not-
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not,
Yep.
I don't know if any of them know it, but the moms out there do. It's not an episode on Grey's Anatomy. This is not gonna go away with a quick.
We have no idea how this will unfold. We're hoping that as we head into the spring and then summer season, that interrupts the potential for transmission. It may make it less likely that you get easily infected, but this is not over. There's a lot of changes that we need to go through and understand that this is impacting our routines and our lives. We have to play it safe.
Should close restaurants and just stop.
Well,
Going out. Period.
I think that you have a situation where that is going to be decided on the fly. Right now, we can do a lot by being cognizant and aware of the potential for spread and easy spread, and understand why these restrictions are being imposed upon us. Kids are going to be anxious anyway.
To go to the mall, to go
And they're
to the
going to want to,
restaurants
it's
and
not
hang
easy to
out.
stay home and hang out with your parents. I understand that. But it is a time where we have to take a deep breath, but without somebody else's breath in our breath, and make sure that we recognize and realize that this is a significant time in human history. Will we learn how to respond to these better in the future? Yeah, I hope so. Some of you might be worried about what's going to happen with my college and my applications, my grades. This may be something that has to be dealt with later on. I can guarantee you that if you've been doing well and you're earnest and a good student or an athlete or whatever, right now this interruption is what everybody's experiencing. So it's not like somebody else is being able to take advantage of the moment and surpass you. Once again, it's one of those things we have to stay tuned in, and there are a few places you can do that. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and certainly it's easy to get sidelined and really worried.
Hysterical?
Yeah,
Anxious?
yeah, no, that's for sure. And there are lots of internet banters that are going on that don't necessarily represent accurate information. The CDC, Centers for Disease Control, everybody's favorite science-based institution that helps direct and guide the way we address infectious diseases and health problems in the country, has a great website full of a lot of information, cdc.gov. You can go to the Fairfax County Health Department website. You can go to the Virginia Department of Health website. You can really look to the hospital for some information, but it is not something that is yet necessarily in your repertoire of your Google searches. But nonetheless, be reassured, your public health folks are trying the best they can to try to ramp up a response that will help us stop the disease in its progress and make life a little easier and get us back to normal as soon as possible. But that can't happen without you guys helping support the hygiene and right now the lack of social opportunities that are coming with this.
Today, we've been driving all over. Tom and I have been to Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, Starbucks, Chipotle, and I'm glad to say that Stop the Spread is working. Teen Say has called it Stop the Spread. These kids were all outside. They're staying home, so we're going to ask them some questions. Hey, I'm here with all these guys. So tell me your name.
Autumn.
How old are you, Autumn?
I'm 18 years old.
What did you just bring to my attention? When are Fairfax County schools closed until?
April the 10th.
What did you see that on?
The Fairfax County Schools website.
What's your name?
Jocelyn. 17.
17, okay. What high school do you go to?
Chantilly.
What high school do you go to?
Oh, I go to Chantilly High School.
And how old are you guys?
I'm 11.
I am 10.
I am 9.
Aha. So we're going to go one by one. What do you think of being off from school?
I think it's a good opportunity because you get to play with your friends and stuff outside a lot.
Are you going to go to stores and stuff?
If they don't have no toilet paper, what for?
Okay. What do you think about schools being closed?
I'm not really sure what it will do to help this virus spread because people are still going to be like everywhere and anywhere, so I don't really understand. But I'm not complaining. Thank you.
What do you think about schools being closed?
Sounds like a fun opportunity, but again, it's kind of scary, you know. We get a head start on spring break, you know, having fun, chilling, catching up on schoolwork.
I am kind of happy about it, but I'm not too happy about it because I'm really scared about it. There's nothing in the stores anymore, and it's really just scary. But I'm happy that we don't have to go to school. So
I think it's kind of weird because how are we going to learn? Are they going to upload? Are we going to have to be homeschooled or something?
So what do you think of coronavirus? What is it?
I think it is a virus that affects your respiratory system pretty badly, compromises your breathing and all that stuff.
And are you scared to get it?
I wouldn't say I'm scared, but I mean, it's definitely something to be cautious about because of how contagious it is and how fast it's spreading throughout the world.
So what are you doing to prevent you from getting it?
Wash my hands, I have sanitizer in my car, in my backpack, in my purse, all that stuff. I don't really like to touch anyone like that I don't know. And I just stay away from people that are coughing and sick at school and stuff.
What about you? What is coronavirus? What have you heard?
I think coronavirus is a virus that is like when you touch someone, it spreads on the other people and they get sick.
Are you afraid to get it?
I'm not really worried about it because I stay away from Chinese people and people that do cough and do get sick.
So do you think all Chinese people have it, or is it did it start in China?
just in case, I'm going to stay away from Chinese people.
Okay. And what am I calling this? What am I trying to do when I'm talking about stop the spread? Yeah, A plus there.
Got that, ma'am.
Teen Say is starting Stop the Spread. So what is coronavirus?
I think it's something like the flu, and that's all I really know about it.
What do you think about it? Are you afraid to get it?
I mean, it's kind of whatever. We're safe, but we're not safe. It's just like, if it happens, it happens. But all the best you can do is just keep yourself, sanitized, clean, keep your peers clean, all that stuff too. So,
Are you going out to places like work or school? Oh, well, we know you're not going to school, but what, work, stores, or any of that?
I mean, if we go to the stores, not really anything there, so not really. Just trying to grab what we can. Whatever's there is there. Whatever's not, try to see if we can get somewhere else with there.
Fast food?
Oh, no, not really, man. I'm kind of scared, because, they have, I know that Chick-fil-A has this thing going on, they're trying to stop the spread, too, and, McDonald's is, making it awareness and all that. So, as long as the other restaurants are concerned, I should be fine. But, yeah.
What about you? Are you scared? What do you know about coronavirus?
I know from what I heard that the coronavirus is a very deadly virus. That it started in China and has spread. I know that a lot of people have had it and some people have died from it. And that's pretty much all I know. But, yeah.
Are you afraid to get it?
Yes, I'm very afraid to get it because I don't want to die. And I'm trying to prevent it as best I can by, doing the, sanitizing and stuff. But there's really nothing at the stores, so I really don't know.
It's concerning.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you know about coronavirus?
It's an upper respiratory infection that targets elderly people. And young people can still get it, but it's not going to hurt them as much.
Are you afraid to get it?
Not that much, because it can still hit kids, but not as hard as it's gonna hit elderly people.
So, are you happy school's closed?
Yes.
Do you want to get sick?
No.
Good. Okay. So, thank you.
My teacher told me that if the school does shut down, we will be doing an online school thing. It's kind of like homeschooling, but it's going to be easier. And I'm really scared about it because it's still going to be here. It's not like it's going anywhere, so it doesn't really help much that we're not in school.
Will you guys do it together? Well, you guys do your homeschooling together, with friends?
I don't think it's going to work, honestly, because it's what about our upcoming graduates? What are you going to do? And then, people, they're home, they're comfortable, they're not going to do their schoolwork. It's we're on vacation, so it's we're worried about passing or failing. So, that's going to be kind of a concern, too, to worry about.
So they're going to definitely have to enforce the fact that your grades count. And so I think you'll all listen to that. Will you all listen to that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I guess so.
Yes.
Yeah, I will.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. What do you think about the sports right now? Do you play a sport?
No, I don't play a sport, but it's kind of crazy because it's this is people's entertainment. And it's if people were to have it, they wouldn't, of course, go to the arena or anything or try to spread it. It would just be, more cautious. But it's people enjoy these type of things, and without these type of things, people are going to just go crazy. It's going to be hard not to have the NBA or, NFL season already over. Good for them. But it's just going to be crazy not having anything.
What about you? What do you think about it?
I feel like it's very hard for people that do play sports because they do this for a living and they try so hard, and because this virus is out, they have to stop doing everything that they usually would do, and I feel like it's very sad.
I don't have an opinion on it.
Okay.
So, and for the people that enjoy it, that's going to really break their heart. Well,
what about if we remember what I called it? Stop the spread. And then hopefully we can get back to business, but maybe we'll have some, a lot of people are saying they'll get some R&R with their families. And Dr. Libby, who we're going to hear from in a little while, he's a big pediatrician in the area. During his interview, he said people can have some really great family time right now. And so...
grocery store yesterday because she said that my mom is 100% totally oh my God, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. So she went to the store yesterday, and they were there for 2-3 hours because they were going to every single store because there was nothing there. And eventually when my mom came home, we spent forever getting bags out of the car. Our car was filled with bags. My mom was trying to stock up on everything because she wasn't trying to go out because the virus is out. So my mom is going crazy over this.
The grocery stores are like packed. They're packed, and it's crazy because everyone's trying to fight for things. Like, I want this, I want that, but then again, it's like first come, first serve. So it's like, what am I supposed to do now that I'm not protected? I don't have hand sanitizer. I don't have anything to keep me clean. So it's like,
Stop the spread. Don't go out.
how? But you still need to go out to still survive, you know?
Well, what if we? What if we? What if we? Our parents have all gone to the stores. I know as a mom, I have gone to the store, so we're stocked up for like a week or two, and then we don't have to go out to the stores. Will you stay home if you don't have to go to the stores for anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
We see someone with a mask on, but she doesn't want to talk to us today. But she's wearing that mask, so that's good. I guess she's being cautious when she goes out to the stores because she doesn't want to get sick, is what she said to us. So what do you guys think of if you wear a mask and go out? Do you think that's safe?
No, I don't think it's safe.
My teacher said that mask would be useless unless you're sick. I feel like you would still get the virus. It's not like it's going to prevent anything. It's just a mask.
My teacher said some of them are made in China, so be like cautious, and that some of them are made in America, so like get those ones.
What do you think if you wear a mask? Will you be safe when you go out?
I think you'd be safer, but I don't know if the virus can be spread by touching and stuff. I'm not sure about that.
How about you? Do you think we'll be safer if we wear a mask when we go out?
Yeah, it will help a lot because then like things like germs are spreading around. They're teeny tiny particles that are all over the air and stuff. So it could possibly get on your face and it could possibly get everywhere. But the mask is blocking it.
Well, one good thing is Dr. Libby does answer that question. Are your parents going to work or are they here? I know a lot of them are here.
Yeah, she's going to work, and she works in the medical field, so it's kind of scary working in the hospital and possibly being around it. You know, not anyone trying to let people know about it. It's just kind of keeping it a secret instead of trying to protect their employees because we still have to deal with this type of stuff also. So.
My mom works with a ton of people every day, and she doesn't know half of the people that she works with. And she moves to the building a lot, so she runs by anybody. I've been to her job a lot of times, and I know that there's tons of people there that may have that virus, and they might not even know it, and it could get to her without her even knowing it. So
she's still going to work?
yes, because we need money.
Okay. Is your mom still going to work?
Yes, my mom's a home aide, and so like she's taking precautions too.
Is your mom still going to work?
I don't believe my mom will be going to work because she works for this school. So I think with it being closed, she will be out of work.
My mom is going to work because she has a lot of things to do that involve money. So she has to go to work.
Okay.
Whether the virus is spreading or not.
What?
Whether the virus is spreading or not.
How about grandparents? Are you guys worried about losing any elderly people in your life?
I actually am because I know elderly people have a weaker immune system than people our age. So it will, if they get infected with this virus, it can affect them more harshly than it can affect people our age.
Are your grandparents living here, or do you go see them frequently?
No, my grandparents live here.
So are you scared about losing your grandparents, or what are you hearing about grandparents?
So I'm not really scared about losing my grandparents because,
Do they live here?
yeah, but they don't really go out a lot as other people. So if they just stay in the house all day.
So are you afraid of losing your grandparents?
I mean, no, my grandma's a homebody. She's fine, so I'm not really concerned.
Do they live here?
Yeah, they do.
I am very concerned because I see my grandmother every day of my life, and she's been a big part of my life. And if my grandmother died, I would be lost and like scary. Like I don't want to lose my grandma.
Stop the spread!
Should they be prepared? I mean, should the average teen and child be prepared that there's going to be some grandparent deaths happening?
It's really hard to speculate on that. I think what is most important is that people sort of inhibit the opportunity to bring the disease to people who would be most susceptible to significant outcomes. So you want to make sure that if you're sick, you stay home. You have that cough and fever, and typically it's not particularly a congestion-oriented disease. It's much more cough, shortness of breath, fever, tiredness, but not a lot of nasal congestion and runny noses. So that's one thing. But if you are sick like that, stay home. Don't think that I'm not feeling that bad. I can go out or I can go see grandma because we have dinner plans. It's best that you guys stay separate and that you respect the symptoms that you might have that could be related to the coronavirus.
So if a teen feels bad right now, it's allergy season too.
Allergies are different, very different. They itch, you get a runny nose, you may get tired from your allergy and allergy medicine, but it's a totally different experience. It's not coughing and fever and real tiredness from feeling sick.
So is this almost like a mono that they'll
No,
feel?
this is much more like a flu, which typically doesn't necessarily have a lot of a runny nose feature.
Are they using antibiotics? Can we, if somebody is contaminated with coronavirus, can we request antibiotics to help?
Antibiotics are not helpful in viral infections. And this is a viral infection. There are very few viruses that have specific treatments. As we said, flu, you always hear of Tamiflu. That's what you use to treat influenza. But there's not been a medicine yet that has been developed that can treat coronavirus. So unfortunately, no, antibiotics don't help, and they
Do
are.
we know though? Have they tried
We
it?
know, absolutely know. Yes, they are not appropriate for use in these kinds of viral infections, and if they are, it's because you're in the hospital and you have a complicated secondary infection like a pneumonia. You're not going to be getting these things as outpatients. They don't need antibiotics, period.
Well, Tamiflu, have they tried Tamiflu?
They have tried Tamiflu. Tamiflu does not work.
Well,
But there are some drugs in the pipeline. There are definitely vaccines in the pipeline. And hopefully, if this continues to be an issue relative to the virus itself, within a year we should have a vaccine that can help us build up our own immunity so that we would not be susceptible and we could stop the transmission, because that's what a vaccine does. Creates immunity in every individual who gets it so that they don't get the disease and they aren't capable of spreading it. And when you hit a certain level of population that is vaccinated, that prevents that virus from then spreading to a lot of people and causing a big problem. Very important to get vaccinated. And flu vaccine every year is still really important.
the gyms are not closed. So there are a lot of companies that are closed, have their people working from home, but then they're all going to the gym. So, I mean, if, the government doesn't make the gyms close, people should choose not to go there.
And once again in the gym, they say 6 feet apart, don't cough and sneeze and do the other things that can spread disease if you're sick, for sure. Don't go to the gym if you're sick. If you do go to the gym, make sure you have the wipes and you wipe down all the equipment before you touch it. Very important quality. Very important to understand that this is something that you can get from just touching and then touching. So you don't want to contaminate yourself. You're in places like that.
So, Dr. Libby, we know you see babies.
Yes.
These precious little.
Babies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So moms that are carrying right now, are they more susceptible? And what does it mean for the baby?
So all we have right now is information from China and some of the other countries where we've seen the disease. And it does not at this time appear that pregnancy has made people more susceptible or given them more severe disease. And thus far, we have not seen newborns affected by the virus. There's a lot to learn and a lot to observe, and there's not a lot of information yet that gives us a total set of confidence. But nonetheless, it seems that at least if you're worried and you're pregnant, that you can take a breath on that one as well, that it hopefully will not be something that we get really upset about.
I do have one last question for you. If people have to go to the hospitals for treatments, for cancer, for whatever they go to the hospitals for on a daily basis or on a monthly basis, should they be really scared?
No, I don't think you have to be scared at the hospital. And in fact, there are lots of screening methods that we are employing. I know when you call our office, we will ask a series of questions about exposure, about travel, and about the likelihood of the symptoms being suspicious for coronavirus. And if they are suspicious, then we will often do a screen using a telemedicine platform, which is one with a video screen and an interview that then we can decide.
With a doctor?
With a doctor, yeah, whether you need to come in for that or not, and or whether you need to get testing. And once again, testing is not a clear process at this time. So hopefully by next week, we'll know more about where and how to get testing done, so that people who are worried or have a suspicious situation might be informed, so that those people around them can then stay home for a couple weeks and keep that disease from being spread to other people. It is, it's a difficult situation, but nonetheless, hospitals are trying not to see people in their waiting rooms who might be suspicious. So there is a triage process, which means that we're screening people before they actually get seen or come into a facility to try to weed out those who might be at risk.
That's awesome. Are doctors worried?
Are we worried?
For you guys, I mean, the healthcare profession, how do you guys feel? Besides overwhelmed. You've got to be overwhelmed.
Well, it is, as with you guys, the uncertainty of what to expect and where we're going with this. There is a need and a commitment as a medical professional to take care of patients no matter what the situation. So we are here to take care of you, and we will put our lives on the line to make sure that your lives are well addressed and that you can stay healthy. So we'll do what we can to make sure that we can help you. But yeah, it makes us pretty nervous, and when we go home at night and hug our spouses and our children, that's a little worrisome. And if you're an old guy like me, you know, you worry a little bit. You still fit the picture where you can be severely impacted by this disease. So yeah, we worry, but we're trying to do our best to make sure we provide the service our patients need. Right?
Right. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for everything that you guys do. And we will all be praying that you all stay healthy. Thank you, Dr. Libby, for talking to us. Dr. Libby from Virginia Pediatric Group. Well known, 3 offices in Virginia. I'm sure he's been 4 offices.
Yes, sure.
I'm sure somebody you know has seen Dr. Libby. So take his advice, stay home, try and get well. Any other advice?
Nope, just carry on.
Until the next time?
Till the next time.
And hopefully
right.
we will not be talking about coronavirus again. And hopefully maybe within a month of isolation, this will go away.
We can only hope. If it's taken away your ability to enjoy life, you know, you need to talk to your parents, you need to talk to your friends, and you need sometimes to get professional help. So do not hesitate to say that you are overwhelmed by your fear and to seek help, because it's a natural response, and some people have a harder time dealing with that.
It'll be longer than a month?
It is likely going to be something that we deal with over the next year to 2 relative to its pockets of transmission. It will go to the southern hemisphere, it will go to different places at different times of the year, and it may rear its ugly head again next winter if we see a little relief. Hopefully by then we'll have a vaccine or at least some medicines that we can use in case.
Wow. So we were all thinking a week or 2.
Good luck. I'm hoping. Yep.
Thank you, Dr. Libby.
Stop
the spread. Yeah.
Stop the spread.
So our advice here from Teen Say is try and stay out of the stores. Try and listen to Dr. Libby. Let's stop the spread if we can. So guys, what do you want to tell them one more time?
Stop the spread.
Stop the spread.